Hi, I'm Mike,
And I'm Allison.
and this channel is about us building our own home,
Literally us building our home with our own hands.
which is really frightening and exciting.
Yeah, and neither of us have ever done anything like this before.
Did a tiny amount of construction as a teenager, that's about it.
I built a shelf as a teenager.
You did a nice job building that shelf. I've seen that shelf. So we're optimistic, to say
Yeah.
the least, but today we wanted to tell the story of why we are choosing to build our own home, and just as importantly, where are we going to build it? We met each other pretty young. I was 22 and Allison was 19. She was a sophomore in college and
I was a freshman in college.
she was a freshman in college. And I was a sophomore because I had taken 2 years off to do volunteer work. We really didn't have much in the way of money to get going in our life when we became a couple. And we had to finish school, and then I wound up going to graduate school. And it took us until, I was 31 years old to have that down payment saved up for a house. And during that time, we've experienced COVID and shortages in materials and just rapid inflation across the board. So the homes that we might have purchased right when we graduated and we had entry-level jobs were the same homes that we could afford after we finished graduate school and had saved up a giant down payment, which is a little disappointing, but that's life.
Yeah, it would definitely be easier to just buy a house for sure. But the houses that we could afford, we just weren't really excited about, and we wanted our first home to be something that we were really excited about and wanted to live.
In graduate school, that first really good job, it led us to the other side of the country. And by the time we had come back, a lot of what we had wanted and hoped for and had been working toward for years in our home city of Salt Lake had kind of dried up. They're no longer attainable. A lot of people moving in, great people moving in from other states. And just the housing market here, due to some geographical boundaries and other issues, has just it's doubled in the last 5 years. So we began to look for alternative options. And as we returned home to Salt Lake from Philadelphia, we were really disappointed, to say the least. But maybe that disappointment turned into a really great opportunity, because in traveling around and reacquainting ourselves with some of the areas in Utah that we love, we came back to Bear Lake.
We've talked about having a place at Bear Lake for years and years. We decided to go look at some lots just to see what was available, see what we could afford. And originally we were just going to buy a lot and then sit on it for a while, maybe build in 5 years, 10 years, something like that. But when we decided that we weren't going to buy a house in this housing market, we thought maybe we just build at Bear Lake and live there for a few years. We both work 100% remote ever since COVID started, so we have this opportunity to live wherever we want, and why not Bear Lake?
And it sounds crazy that we purchased a lot at Bear Lake in a market where we thought, you know what, this is too expensive. We don't want to do it right now. We want to wait. We want to let things stabilize. We want to see how wage increases react to inflation. It seemed like a crazy thing, but if you're from Utah, you might know that the Bear Lake area, and specifically Garden City, is blowing up quickly. And because we both had childhood experiences and family experiences and just great times in this area, we knew that at some point we wanted to have property there, and we wanted to have a vacation home there. We wanted our kids and our families to continue having these wonderful experiences. So it made sense, just like buying land in Tahoe in the 1960s is rapidly appreciating, and it made sense to put a stake in the ground before possibly we get priced out of this market again. So we went ahead, we pulled the trigger, we bought it, we found close to 2 acres on the mountainside overlooking the entire lake. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, and it was attainable for us, very luckily. And then we just sat on it for a little bit while we assessed things. And the longer we sat and assessed, the more difficult the housing market became in Salt Lake, the more viable the option of simply building our Bear Lake vacation home and living there really became. There are a lot of things in the building process that we're willing to take on. We're looking at financing options that would allow us enough time to finish the house, and we're confident that if we take our time and go slowly and we are fastidious about the construction of our home, that we can do a decent job. There are some things, however, that we feel we have no business doing. First of those things is the excavation itself. They will not allow me to rent an excavator that large. I checked. They said, Mike, no, you do not have a license to operate heavy machinery, and I accept that. We've found a wonderful guy who's going to do our excavation up there. The next phase in the project is footings, the foundation, the flat work, the foundation walls. That also I feel I have no business doing whatsoever. If we get that wrong, everything's going to be wrong, and I don't know how to do it. I don't have the time to learn how to do it. We're trying to find a framer. So if you are a framer in the northern Utah, southern Idaho, Cache Valley region, we would love to speak with you because frankly, we've been getting some outlandish quotes. Framing is another area that I feel, the professionals know exactly what they're doing. They can do it very quickly. The cost in any normal market is fairly reasonable. Right now, it's just not. We might have to decide that we're going to do the framing ourselves. And if we do that, it's going to take us a long time. And that's going to wind up costing us money in terms of financing and lost opportunity elsewhere. But we might have to take that on ourselves. In a later episode where we get to show you what it is we're actually building, you're going to see how scary that is. We have a 26-foot gable wall that needs to go up. That wall, because of the snow load and wind shear factor that they have up on this mountainside, that wall is full of engineered lumber products that weigh a lot. It's probably going to weigh 10,000, 12,000 pounds. You may begin to appreciate the hesitation that we have to do this, but
if we can't get a reasonable quote during a reasonable time frame for our project, then you might be watching us frame a house.
Yeah. On nights and weekends.
If we can get somebody to frame, then we'll be picking it up from there. That's what we feel much more confident about.
Assembling the plumbing and the electrical and the mechanical, and then taking it through insulation, and drywall is something that I don't want to do myself.
Yeah, I don't want to do drywall. Not that we can't do drywall, but no, I've heard not good things about doing drywall.
Because I've watched that process, and it just doesn't look fun. And it looks like it takes quite a lot of skill to get right. And I think that's something that we just leave to, better people than myself.
Yeah. I am interested in doing shiplap walls where appropriate and reasonable for,
Sure.
because I think shiplap's really pretty. I think it would work really well in the house. And we'll definitely have maybe some accent walls that are shiplap. We can do that ourselves. But for the drywall, probably gonna hire somebody to do that.
To put it mildly, this whole construction is going to be a nights and weekends job. We are going to be dedicating every ounce of spare time we have in our lives to building our dream home, because we feel like if we don't do it now, we're never going to have the chance to do it. So we're jumping off. We're going to do it. And it's really, really scary. And it's probably 90% as exciting as it is scary. Mostly I'm a little scared.
Yeah.
But we're choosing to take the leap.
And a lot of our friends have looked at us like, you guys are insane. What are you doing? And I'm sure that this channel is going to be full of mistakes. It should be pretty entertaining for our viewers to watch us stumble our way through this experience. This is by no means a how-to channel. Let's set that straight.
No, if you want to tell us how to, comment.
Yeah.
And tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'd love to hear your opinion on things. I'm sure that you'll have ample opportunity to do so.
Yeah, we're not trying to speak with any authority on how to do these things. We're just sharing our journey.
So be kind to us in
that
comments.
Be nice to us. I think we both have this attitude that we've always had of if it's going to cost too much to have somebody else do it, or if we can't get it done by somebody else for time constraints, we'll just do it ourselves. We'll figure it out.
And that comes from a misguided confidence in our own ability to learn things. If frankly, often it is misguided, but maybe that's the optimism of youth that, you've been told that you can do things and you think, well, why couldn't I do it? Other people do it. What one person can do, another person can do. That's an attitude that sometimes serves us well, usually serves us well, I would say.
Yeah, we usually figure it out.
We've done crazy things, so maybe this feels like an extension of that, but at the moment it feels like a really, really big extension of that kind of work.
To talk a little bit about how we're going to do this, we are going to move onto the lot full time so that we can, be working nights and weekends. And that means a trailer. We're going to be living in a trailer.
Believe me, I'm the last person who would ever want to live out of a trailer. I like my space and my comfort, and that's not the kind of thing that I want to do. But if that's what we need to do to get to where we want to be, then we're both willing to do that. Trust me, these things are nice. We won't be suffering.
Not gonna be suffering.
Nobody needs to worry about us. Like, these things are nicer than the first apartment that we had. We're gonna be fun. If you're interested in following the emotional leap that this is, we're gonna be living in a trailer, and I hate that idea. I don't like it. I'm not excited to live out of a trailer. I am excited though to open the door to that every morning and see the frankly insane view that we have from our lot. So that's a pretty significant consolation prize.
Yeah, we're hoping to be able to situate the trailer on the lot in a way that we have just a great view, which will really keep our spirits up through all of this.
Eyes on the prize.
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't introduced Zeus.
There you go.
This is our buddy Zeus.
So this is Zeus, and his favorite place in the world is also Bear Lake. He's had some very good times there.
He has. He gets to run around and do what he wants. There's other animals and dogs up there. And generally, Zeus just brings this wonderful, carefree vibe to our life. Part of what we want this home is for him to be able to exist in that environment full time.
Yeah.
And I know it's silly, and people say, "Oh, millennials buy houses for their dogs," but he's important to us, and we love him, and we want him to be happy.
On the couch.
No, he doesn't like to sit awkwardly.
He's not going to love living in a trailer, but
Nope.
he is going to love living at Bear Lake and being able to run around on our 2 acres as much as he wants. So I hope you stick around for the ride. Subscribe. We're going to plan on releasing episodes as we go along.
Upcoming episodes, we want to take you through the lot, how we chose that particular piece of land. We want to walk you through the way that we designed our plans and what that entailed. And if you're going to do that yourself, that'll be a really good video to watch, because there's a lot involved in making sure that you get the most out of your dream home. So exciting things, and hopefully it's interesting and you can walk away with something that, enlightens and inspires you.